Еще раз по формату, если какие-то вопросы возникают, пожалуйста, пишите в чат, мы все будем читать, переводить. Ионут будет вести вебинар на английском языке. Соответственно, если какие-то вопросы останутся не совсем понятными или у вас будет желание что-то уточнить, welcome, можно будет обращаться. Я передаю слово нашему техническому директору Евгению Александровичу Зобницеву. Он расскажет подробнее, он сегодня поможет проведению этого вебинара. Евгений Александрович, вам слово.
Да, доброе утро, добрый день всем. Соответственно, у нас сегодня по плану знакомства с продуктом Rocket.Chat. Это вот мы постараемся сегодня пройтись по всем аспектам, начиная с, скажем так, позиционирования, что это такое, заканчивая архитектурными слайдами и всем остальным. Опять же, в конце первая часть у нас будет, планируется презентация, соответственно, как бы, опять же, задавайте вопросы в чате, можете на русском, на английском, мы переведем, ответим. Соответственно, после презентации у нас будет все вопросы, небольшая сессия вопросов и ответов, и дальше мы покажем Rocket.Chat в действии, как поставить, как какие варианты установки бывают, как это работает, ну и так далее. Все, что успеем, и все, что придет вам в голову, пожалуйста, задавайте вопросы. Мы здесь, чтобы помочь. Соответственно, если сложно с английским языком, задавайте по-русски. Мы с удовольствием переведем в ту или иную сторону, как будет нужно. С вашего разрешения перехожу тогда на английский язык дальше. И опять же, как бы вот жду от вас комментарии в чате на любом из доступных языков. So, I'm switching to English, and Ionut, we have got guys here to listen what we are going to present, and please share your screen, and the stage is yours.
Thank you very much. Give me 1 minute to share the screen. Okay. Can you see the screen? Can someone confirm, please?
Yes, yes.
Perfect. I'm trying to make this disappear, but I guess I can work with it.
Yeah, we don't see anything else as well, just presentation. So
yeah, it's appearing on my side something, so I'm
sure.
trying to pull it on the side. Okay, should be fine now. Great. So thank you for joining today's session. My name is Ionut Mihart. I'm a solutions engineer in Rocket.Chat for almost a year now. My very few words about my background. I'm having over 15 years of experience in sales and technical, mostly around open source, B2B, corporate, and today I will be trying to paint a better view of Rocket.Chat, both from the commercial standpoint, but also from the architectural standpoint. We will be deep diving through different deployment methods of Rocket.Chat, some of the integrations that are met as of today within the platform. I will leave some minutes also for a quick demo of Rocket.Chat, so hopefully you will not just not fall asleep on the slide, so we can also focus on the demo. And as well, if you have any questions at any point, I will try to also make some pauses during the slides, but also we will leave a Q&A session in the end to address all the questions, and our colleagues from the Factor group will also help respond some of those. I'm not good at Russian, so if the translation will be needed, of course, the colleagues will definitely help with that along the way. So what is Rocket.Chat actually, right? Some of you maybe are aware of it, maybe you saw the UI of it, maybe in some mobile devices as well at some point, but actually Rocket.Chat is one of the world's largest open source community platform out there. As of today, we see it deployed in more than 150 countries. We have more than 15 million registered users globally, and also around 1 million servers deployed. Of course, a good portion of them being community edition servers, but also the footprint on the enterprise side, it's increasing more and more. As of today, our colleagues are spread around the globe. We have employees in more than 40 locations. I think today, actually, we just got our 42nd country on the map. So the company is expanding. We are almost 200 employees. And this is just the beginning, of course. We have also two HQs around the globe. One is in Porto Alegre in Brazil, where also the Rocket.Chat dream started, of course, but our official one as of today, it's in US, in Wellington, Delaware. And of course, Rocket.Chat being still in its initial years, we needed some investors to go along with us and to validate our vision, and part of them you will see highlighted over here. The biggest one will be, of course, NEA and Greycraft, but of course all the others are highlighted over there, and this is all public information. We went through the first founding for the company, and as we move forward, we expect the Series B to happen pretty soon. Moving along, I would like to paint an initial general overview about the 4 main components of Rocket.Chat, because Rocket.Chat as a whole, and a lot of you will be aware of Rocket.Chat just when it comes to the team collaboration aspect of it, right? So everything that you use Rocket.Chat for the internal collaboration between your employees, or even slight conversations with your suppliers and vendors. Rocket.Chat is not just about that. It also has integrated capabilities with apps and a lot of integrations that we have as of today in our marketplace. But it's not only that. You will see during the presentation, you also have the flexibility to create your own apps, which can be added within our marketplace. We also are capable of supporting our customers through a lot of social media integrations out there, but with also other means of communications like email, SMS, and much many. We also support, for example, Telegram, Instagram, Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp. So a lot of the main social media streams, we have them available with Rocket.Chat. And of course, we also have the capability to be integrated as an in-app chat, right? So you can use Rocket.Chat with an existing solution, and you just integrate the chat functionality, which Rocket.Chat can be used in a very easy way. All of this package that you see here, we call them the 4 components, and of course everything is secured, is GDPR compliant, and we have all the regulations that are important to the market as of today. Then I will slightly deep dive in the 4 components. First and foremost, of course, team collaboration is the place where you can bring your entire collaboration side, where you can share files, where you can talk to your teammates, you can share voice messages, video messages, start calls within the platform. So you don't need to use a third-party application like Google Meet, like WebEx or Zoom. So you can have them already embedded in the Rocket.Chat platform, and that can happen within one screen. And of course, all third-party apps that are needed, they can also be available within Rocket.Chat with just some slight integrations that needs to be done with the platform. When we talk about omnichannel, as I mentioned, it's bringing pretty much together the entire customer experience, where we can use plugins with all the important social media networks out there, applications, of course, and also all of that will be managed and will be sustained from one view, which is Rocket.Chat. So a basic example would be when someone is reaching out on your business WhatsApp number or your business Telegram number, they of course will have to use a mobile app or a web app, and they will get in touch with you through the number that you have on the website. Then the agent will be able to support that incoming chat through Rocket.Chat. And you will see later on during the demo, I actually arrange a short presentation for the Telegram integration. So you'll see how that will happen and how everything we will be able to serve from one view, which is going to be Rocket.Chat omnichannel. Moving along on the in-app chat, this is pretty much what I've discussed initially. We have a lot of companies out there that are looking to embed a good solution in their apps, right? And usually I give an example when it comes to this, and I guess pretty much everyone used the Uber or like a food application that you just order your food to come home. A lot of those, they don't have a chat functionality embedded in the beginning, right? So in order not to change the entire code of it, they will move along and add a solution as Rocket.Chat. So this is in theory what we will call an in-app chat. We can integrate directly, as an iframe. It can be called with different API calls, webhooks. So there's a lot of flexibility when it comes to that. And of course, don't forget, Rocket.Chat can be deployed in two major ways, which is on-premise, but also we also support a SaaS deployment, which can be managed from Europe as well. We have a server that is hosted in Germany, but there's also another one in the US as of today. The fourth, but not the latest one will be apps and integrations, of course. So within here, we try to explain that we always have all the apps and integrations that a customer would be looking for. And in the case that we might not have it, then we can always create a new app using APIs, webhooks, as mentioned, and then you just integrate it with a marketplace, and then you can start using it as of anytime you need it. So this will be pretty much about the four major pillars in a very generic aspect. Then I want to mention a bit about Rocket.Chat as a differentiator and why we think we bring value, right? Because as mentioned initially, we are compliant with all the regulations as of today, right? So we are GDPR compliant, ISO 27001, but of course on the healthcare regulation side, so HIPAA, the CCPA for the US side, LGDPD, so pretty much everything out there we cover. If there's something else that we might need to be compliant and you think we don't have it, we also have the flexibility from our legal department to always analyze it, and we will always have a feedback back to you in order to be able to cover all the needs that are out there on the market as of today. When you talk about Rocket.Chat, of course, as mentioned, it can be deployed SaaS, but also self-hosted. We offer full access to the code because Rocket.Chat is open source. So you can always look in the GitHub repository. It's published out there. It's always updated. So that access will be always there for the people that are interested in deep diving into the code itself. And as mentioned, it's not just for the internal collaboration and conversations, but also to our partners, vendors, but also can be integrated in websites, applications. So regardless the need, Rocket.Chat can be meeting all of those possibilities. And I also added just one slide with some examples of Rocket.Chat companies that are relying on the platform as of today. I just mentioned here a few. We have them, of course, from a lot of industries, as you can see here. Of course, IT, healthcare, banking, which will be Santander, Bayern, which will be on the healthcare side, Boeing, Credit Suisse with banking, Samsung, of course, PepsiCo, and many, many, many more. Some of them, of course, we are not able to highlight the names because of NDAs which are signed, but we cover a lot of the government entities out there around the world that they need a private, secured, air-gapped internal collaboration, which Rocket.Chat can, of course, meet that possibility. And well, we also been awarded along the time. We have 5 of those awards highlighted here just for reference. But I would like to deep dive more into the product itself, and I will talk a bit about our enterprise solution. And the purpose will be to understand the main points and advantages of Rocket.Chat. So I will try to cover it in 6 main pillars, which will be divided between infrastructure security, administration support, advanced team collaboration, and the advanced omnichannel customer engagement. So jumping into infrastructure. As of today, the infrastructure of Rocket.Chat can be, of course, be deployed on a monolith, which will be a server which can sustain up to X amount of users, right? But as we scale that database and the number of concurrent users will grow and grow, we definitely need to talk about high availability in microservices. So that's where Rocket.Chat Enterprise comes in handy, because you can deploy high availability instances of Rocket.Chat to form, of course, a cluster. By that, we will be able to think about the cost, and we will be able to drastically improve that. And of course, by the high availability cluster that always is up and running, you will not experience downtime of your Rocket.Chat instance, right? As well as microservices. Microservices can be deployed as of today in a Kubernetes environment. I would like to highlight, of course, our microservices deployment is in beta. So engineering is still working on covering all the aspects where we think we still need to, digest more around, but it's also a possibility out there. It's an enterprise feature grade, and it can be used at any time to deploy the microservices for each of the service where you need to tweak the performance of your environment. So usually the presence cluster, where we'll see the availability of a user in the platform, that can be deployed in several instances separate, just to make sure you cover all of that need of the platform when it's needed. Of course, we can talk about the MongoDB as well. That can be deployed with replica sets in case one of the database will be crashed for some reason. You always have the disaster recovery one kicking in to help keep your infrastructure working and your database always up to date. When we talk about administration, we have different ways to manage it in an enterprise level. Of course, I would first and foremost mention, even if it's not in the order as you see on the slides, our LDAP and AD directory administration, because that's a change that indeed we made back in September, October last year. We had all the LDAP and AD integration available for the community edition, and then we released a press release, which our CEO actually did, and we made some changes to that. We kept all the basic LDAP AD synchronization within Rocket.Chat Community Edition, but everything related to an enterprise AD that should be needed for all the big enterprise customers out there, we push it forward for the enterprise licensing. And by that, of course, we will be able to support SAML, we'll be able to support all the SSOs possibilities, and also you will have all the social media logins that you want to use. Rocket.Chat, of course, can be used with multiple factor authentications, so you can have several layers of security whenever a user will be logging to your platform. You can customize your interface, which means Rocket.Chat is fully white label capable. You will be able to rip off the look and the feel of the platform. I will talk about during the demo as well. You will see the UI of it, and you will be able to change everything, including the logo of Rocket.Chat. So whenever you start a new server for your company and you want your employees to use it, you can just personalize with all the look and feel as the company has, and they will never know they're using Rocket.Chat behind as the platform of communication, which is really cool, right? And on top of everything, of course, we can talk about user control and governance. You will have a lot of flexibility to control the access on your server, the performance, the personalization of each user. You can add up to 150 different types of permission levels to the users that will connect to your Rocket.Chat instance. So each of them can do different stuff on the server if you want to have that granularity access whenever it's needed, of course. And of course, we also offer the Atlassian Bundle. I would honestly describe the Atlassian Bundle, the portfolio that you use for developers, because it has some integrations which are most likely used for developers out there. We might change some stuff that you see there. I think we have 1 or 2 more integrations as of today than what is highlighted in the bundle itself. But there's a lot of flexibility with it. We invest a lot with it, and we have a close relationship with the Atlassian company. Then I will transition to the security part. Rocket.Chat, of course, it's a very secured platform, right? You can deploy it on premise. You'll own the data. You'll own the full ownership and control of your platform, right? So that can be deployed in a full air-gapped environment, which means you don't need to have access to the internet, never ever. You just put it in your system. Your network will be there, and that's it, right? You have a full air-gapped system where your people will still be able to connect, to talk to each other, to share files, to have a call. So all of that experience will still exist within the platform. With all of that, you can add, of course, on top of everything, end-to-end encryption. So the communication will still be encrypted whenever it's needed. It can be encrypted to the entire server or to specific conversations. So again, it's a matter of how you want to control your server infrastructure. Then we can talk about secure push notifications for those users that will use a mobile. So of course, we offer Rocket.Chat on iOS and on Android. So whenever you want to have full access to the platform, you will be able to, and with secure push notifications, neither Google or iOS will be able to read those conversations ever, because how that works is you send the encrypted package to the iOS or to the Android push notification server. Is going to be encrypted on their side, and then it's going to be resent to the mobile device, and then it's decrypted, and you'll be able to read the message, right? So in that way, we covered that just with the Enterprise Edition. And on top of everything, you can control the security on the server with our data loss prevention app, which it's regex capable. You can add pretty much any string of messages or data that you want to block. And you will see that in the demo later on, and also the message auditing panel. That can be used by auditors to audit the information flow on your platform. They will see exactly what's happening in a channel, a team, or even a one-to-one conversation if you enable that for auditors. And on top of that, you also have another layer called audit of auditor. So you will be able to see also what everyone is doing when they analyze the auditing part. So that's also a possibility available out there. moving on, I want to talk a bit about our support. Our enterprise support is 24/7 available 365. We have our support people spread around the world, in pretty much touching all the continents out there. So we have them present as of today in Europe as well, but also Brazil, US, Africa. I'm not sure if we have someone today in Australia, to be honest, but we cover all of the other main continents. Even during the weekend, if someone is experiencing a major issue, they can log it as a major incident and they will receive you within 30 minutes a feedback back from the support engineer. So we guarantee all of that with our enterprise edition subscription. Did anyone wanted to address something?
Yeah, I wanted to add a little bit in Russian that we're also covering, and we are here. I would say из Russian. Мы как компания Factor Group представляем Rocket.Chat здесь в регионе и тоже предоставляем, скажем так, вторую линию, да, то есть для заказчика мы собираем первую и вторую линию вместе с партнером, соответственно, как бы отвечаем на кейсы, да, то есть и агрегируем knowledge base здесь в регионе на русском языке, соответственно, выполняя, скажем так, упрощение работы саппорта или, скажем так, классические работу по саппорту 24/7 в регионе Россия для того, чтобы быть руками Rocket.Chat здесь, в регионе СНГ. So you can continue.
Okay. Thank you very much. Does anyone has any other questions around what was covered until now? So maybe we can make a short break as we will, move forward. I see some something on the chat, but it's in Russian, so I don't know.
Yeah. We have been answered that because it was a question about the white label. Is it possible or not? If you will show the interface, maybe administrative interface, you can have attention to that.
Okay.
Pointing attention to that, and there was also a question: is it how it's possible to deploy? But I believe we will have this also.
Yes, will be covered. Exactly, will be covered in a few slides later, of course.
Вопросы какие-нибудь еще у кого-то есть? Если есть, то можно задать сейчас на русском или на английском чат, окей?
Можно подключать микрофон и голосом. Да.
Say that are interested in deployment, Snap and Docker. But I believe we will have got covered that further down the road.
Yes.
So please point attention to the Snap and Docker install.
Okay, no problem. I will cover that, Alex, in a few slides later. You will see the different types of deployment methods within Rocket.Chat, and we can spend some more time on that one if will be needed, of course. So no problem at all. Let me move forward. Advanced team collaboration. This can be translated with two major enterprise edition features that we offer. There are two ways that you can use them. One would be, of course, with the engagement dashboard, which is a more graphical way of understanding the traffic within the server, which are the most used channels, which are the most used intervals during the day when people are actually connecting for the platform. And by that, you can understand the peak of concurrent users on the server. So maybe if you'll experience any downtime issues, or maybe, I don't know, the database can be mostly used during that time, you can understand that with the engagement dashboard capability. And also we offer read receipt. I would say as you see it mostly in WhatsApp, maybe it could be a good comparison. It's the receipt that you can enable on the server, and you can see whenever the person that you reach out to or the people within the channel actually read your message. So to understand exactly that your communication is actually reaching your audience, right? Then switching on to omnichannel. Omnichannel, it's as I said, a really powerful tool of Rocket.Chat as of today, right? So it comes with a lot of advanced features that you can already experience, of course, with the community edition of omnichannel Rocket.Chat, and some of them are listed here. You will see some of them in action during the demo later on. I will just slightly mention them. You can put all the incoming string of chats on hold. You have an on-hold queue that you can use always to use for training purposes, to request someone else to help you during a conversation with a customer, because of course sometimes it can happen. A chat can be redirected to a wrong department on a wrong person. So by that you will be able to redirect that chat to another person or a department. We can use queue waiting time, so we can predetermine a time when an agent will be able to respond to a new incoming chat from a customer. We can set up chat limits, so that can be fully integrated within the two that we just mentioned. We have canned responses, so those are predetermined answers that you can add as shortcuts within your Rocket.Chat platform. So let's say you make !X, and you already have a predefined message within that shortcut, and you can use that to respond much more quickly to your customers. And also we have the advanced queue monitoring, which it's usually used and created by supervisors to train and to also make sure that the agents are responding in due time to the customers, and also the satisfaction is met, right? Because we use these sort of tools to make sure that the customer satisfaction is always met when we try to provide the best solutions to the customers that are reaching out to us. The other part of it will be, of course, the analytics API. So a part of it are living within the Rocket.Chat UI. You will see there is an analytics dashboard within Omnichannel, but also we offer those analytics API that you can call separately to achieve it. We have priority assignment, smart routing, which are actual enterprise edition omnichannel routing algorithms. And then we can have dedicated contact manager, dedicated units for specific incoming streams of messages, and also the last chatted agent preferred, which is, I would say, the full history of a chat with the same customer that is trying to reach out several times with you through omnichannel. So let's say me, Ionut, I'm trying to reach out on a daily basis just because I have several issues with the platform, right? So I'm getting in touch through Telegram, and if the agent will just open the history, he will be able to see all the chats Ionut's opened through Telegram with Rocket.Chat. And by that, you understand exactly what's happening, why that person is reaching out so many times. So it's extremely well used for a lot of internal aspects, and also for the understanding the customer satisfaction aspect as well, right? Then now we can talk about how we deploy Rocket.Chat, because we had some questions around it. So without further ado, Rocket.Chat self-managed, of course, as of today, it can be deployed in 17 different methods. As you can see here, it offers a lot of flexibility, right? And a question was around Docker and snaps. Yes, we offer that capability. It's actually, these two methods are one of the most preferred deployment methods as of today of Rocket.Chat. But not only that, right? You can use Red Hat, you can use DigitalOcean, which is actually a very easy way of deploying Rocket.Chat if you're not really technical into that part, because we have some customers out there which are not technical, right? So we try to offer that means with DigitalOcean support. AWS, of course, Oracle Cloud, but also Kubernetes, as I mentioned earlier. If we want to achieve a microservices environment where we have all the services deployed in a microservices way, then Kubernetes is the way to do it. But also Docker. Docker, it's extremely used. It's becoming much more popular these days. So we always keep our Docker images updated up to date with the latest releases of Rocket.Chat, so you can use that to deploy it. I don't have a separation of these, which are the most used as of today. Honestly, I don't have that analytics behind. I will also be interested in learning that, to be honest with you. But I just wanted to mention here to paint a highlight of the current situation. And as I said, right, you can achieve all of that with these methods. Let me pause here and let's see if you have questions around deployment methods and the ones that are highlighted here. And then we can move on with the other aspects, because I think it's an important topic.
Коллеги, вопросы? Алекс, по поводу, может быть, подробности по поводу, что за вопрос был по Snap и Docker? Вы можете включить микрофон и спросить.
So I guess we don't have questions as of now, Evgeny?
It seems all. Everything
Okay.
clean.
No problem. We can move forward, and maybe we will have in the end.
We have. I'd like to know about some points of multi-instance deploy. As far as know, one Rocket.Chat instance, one core, not JS. If I choose Snap deploy and will create second instance of Rocket.Chat, will the system use my second core?
Yes. Short answer will be yes. There's I would say indeed today is a trend about multi-tendency and multi-instances, right? I would say just to make it at least clear for now, which is the reality that we are facing, Rocket.Chat is not multi-tenant capable, but we have ways to cover multi-instances. So when it comes to the question around that you posted, Alex, I would say yes. Of course, Rocket.Chat will be using a second core for a second instance and so on. But behind that instance, it's also important how many users will be deployed for each of that instance, right? Because if we talk about an installation of 1,000 users, which are concurrent, maybe for those we'll need much more cores, much more hardware power, or, well, of course, images if they're deployed in a virtual environment. So it's really dependent on each installation and which are the exact use cases behind, right? Because if it's just a few users, then yes, you'll need maybe a Raspberry Pi installation, really something really basic, which you don't need to invest into the hardware aspects, right? So I always try to explain when I get a very specific question for a very specific use case, to try to deep dive with really open questions, the actual use case and how exactly a customer is willing to use Rocket.Chat, because based on that installation, then we understand based on that aspect, we can understand exactly what's the need and what's the then the infrastructure that we will be deploying Rocket.Chat on, right? So usually that's how I try to understand this type of use cases and questions, and I've tried to build around it. So try to maybe apply an open approach when it comes to the installation, understand maybe the user, what is the capability in-house. Maybe they're, I don't know, very accustomed to AWS, right? So it would make no sense to divert them to Oracle Cloud or to Google Cloud or whatever. So depends on each of the situation, but Rocket.Chat is flexible, right? You can see, well, only on this slide, how flexible it is and how many different ways we can be deployed on.
And we also received the question about the integration with potential integration with Office 365. R7 Office is a kind of Russian version of LibreOffice and Collaboro and so on. I was answering that it will be presentation tomorrow explaining the integration between Rocket.Chat and Nextcloud, but maybe you can spread also several words or some light on that.
Yeah, of course. The Nextcloud and Rocket.Chat integration, that's a partnership that just started a few weeks ago. I think tomorrow there's actually a webinar about that separately where someone else will be discussing about it and what was achieved and how it was achieved. The partnership was needed mostly because Nextcloud, looks to be, I would say, used a lot in some healthcare solutions out there, but also mainly in educational. And the need for it was to integrate Rocket.Chat within Nextcloud, and you'll see in the environment of Nextcloud a Rocket.Chat installation, which you can deploy, and you can open then the app, and you can use Rocket.Chat for some basic collaboration means within Nextcloud. This is the first deployment as of today. Moving forward, of course, we will invest more into that integration, and you will see much more capabilities. And I know, and I guess all the Nextcloud users also know, Nextcloud has its own chatting platform, right? As far as we understand, Nextcloud is not willing to invest into that anymore because they focused on other aspects of the product and other aspects that they needed to deploy more. So that's why we had that partnership happening between Rocket.Chat and them, and Rocket.Chat should be used as the main chat functionality within the platform itself. So that's pretty much what's going to happen with Nextcloud and Rocket.Chat, at least for now. When it comes to 365 as an integration, that's definitely a possibility that can be achieved with Rocket.Chat. As of today, we don't offer it as a direct integration, which is built by Rocket.Chat, but it can be obtained with third-party integrations out there. So it's a definite yes. The way you want to achieve it, it can be discussed, separately. It can be, for example, Zapier. Zapier offers a lot of integrations out there, including 365, which can be integrated with a plugin in Rocket.Chat. So that's like a first example that comes in my mind, but there are much others out there. And also, remember, you can build your own app, and within the app, you can have the integration as well happening if of course you have the capability to deploy something like that. So there's a lot of flexibility out there. There's a few examples that as of today we don't support, and I can give you, for example, Viber or WeChat. We don't offer that support as of today within the platform, but we are analyzing those two integrations as well to be captured in our roadmap in the next releases of Rocket.Chat. So as many other partners out there or users have the need of different integrations, we always try to analyze that, and we always try to make room within our roadmap releases to these requests where we see them more and more happening within the market. So we are also flexible when it comes to our product marketing team and within our VP as well. And if we have the need of a conversation around that, our VP of product will be more than likely open to participate in a future conversation around this. So have that also in mind. Let me move forward just to don't lose the track of time, and we can use the last minutes for other questions that are appearing during the presentation. So Rocket.Chat also offers, as of today, the possibility of desktop applications. We support, of course, Windows, iOS, Linux, and some others out there. You can have within this interface of the desktop app over here many other instances of Rocket.Chat in the same app. So then you just switch between them, and it's that easy to use. We also support mobile applications, so iOS, Android, they're up and running. So you just go on the store, you search for the app, you download it, and then you're free to use it at any point. But also, just slightly mentioning about it, Rocket.Chat is also capable to be deployed within our cloud. As I mentioned in the beginning, we have 2 servers out there around the world right now. One is in Germany, one is in the US. And next year, we have a plan to add more servers to our cloud as we will proceed further. And why it is important for us, at least, of course, Rocket.Chat in the cloud is just like an installation that you'll do in like 5 minutes. You go on Rocket.Chat, you make an account, you do some next installation, and then you'll have your very own new Rocket.Chat instance up and running, which is really, really easy to use. Then, of course, you can use that wherever the place you need it. It's secured. It's always updated whenever you need it with the latest releases of Rocket.Chat. Of course, when we talk about self-managed, you need to deploy the newest installation of Rocket.Chat with the deployment method that you picked, of course. And we also added pay as you go within our cloud, so it doesn't make sense to charge for the users that are not using it, right? So it's going to be a method of pay as you go within the cloud, which is done with our sales and sales operations when that conversation is happening, of course. And well, when you deploy a Rocket.Chat, of course, you'll have a disaster recovery, MongoDB replica up and running for you. So that will be there in case the main database will be crashing, of course. Moving on to the Rocket.Chat architecture. I would like to mention just 4 main topics here, and then I will show you an actual monolith architecture of Rocket.Chat. So as mentioned, right, Rocket.Chat is extremely customable. We can use APIs, SDKs of Rocket.Chat. We can white label the product, so we can create the experience that is needed for each of the cases that we will have in the customer requirements that they will request from you, of course. It is feature rich, so we have a lot of features out there that are needed within the market, and you can always add on top of it. It's extremely scalable. So of course, a high concurrent number of users will be always balanced by the Rocket.Chat Enterprise load balancer. So you can always have a scalable database and a scalable Rocket.Chat whenever you're going to use it. And of course, it's flexible because we offer all the integration system and tools that you will be able to use to streamline workflows and eliminate whichever context you will need from the integrations that you want to have available on your Rocket.Chat instance, right? And when we talk about the architecture itself, we how to say it, we talk about this monolith architecture in some ways, right? So you have, of course, your own Rocket.Chat monolith, which it's divided, of course, between the Rocket.Chat app and also your MongoDB. And within the monolith itself, we have the Rocket.Chat apps that contains the REST APIs, the WebSockets, all the business logics out there that we need for authentication and permissions. So of course, you can have your LDAP AD talking to your Rocket.Chat. And well, this is actually an error that is missing from this side. Of course, you can have your AD and LDAP always talking to your Rocket.Chat, and you can integrate that with Enterprise. So whenever, let's say, a very basic example, within your AD, you add a new employee that is part, let's say, of the IT department, and you make that integration within your Rocket.Chat monolith, then all of that structure will be available in Rocket.Chat itself. So you don't need to manage your users if you already want to manage everything in your LDAP AD, right? So that sort of customer engagement you can offer within your AD server. So that can be just automated with your Rocket.Chat. Then, of course, on the storage side, you can use all the big file storages out there that can be met on the market. So like the Google Cloud, the WebDAV, S3, there are a lot of out there that you can use for that purpose. Then, of course, we offer through the Nginx reverse proxy firewall the custom applications, which in this case we can talk about Jira, any other CRM integrations out there, any other apps that you want to integrate with your Rocket.Chat. We have the web client and the desktop client, and of course we have the mobile clients, all of them capable of connecting to your Rocket.Chat. And then on the right side, we also have, of course, the omnichannel side. So these are the popular integrations that we've discussed during the presentation, which can communicate through the proxy to your Rocket.Chat. And of course, we offer the Slack and the Matrix bridges. Actually, the Matrix bridge as of today, it's almost there. It's almost released. We have a partnership with Element, and we are deploying their Matrix protocol within Rocket.Chat. So that means our federation bridge and all the other integrations that will be using that logic will be much better improved very soon. Product it's working on releasing that in a few weeks from now. And of course, actually today I will show you how the Slack bridge works with Rocket.Chat and how you can actually integrate, because, well, for some reason, some people will be maybe still using Slack within their organization and they're not making the transition towards Rocket.Chat, right? So you can actually mirror Slack with Rocket.Chat with certain channels, and that can be really easy achieved. And you will see how that communication will happen from the two platforms back and forth. So what you see here again is just an example of the monolith architecture that exists as of today. But again, I would like to slightly mention about the microservices architecture. Don't forget, it's available, can be deployed with Kubernetes. It's still in beta. Engineering is working on it to make it even more reliable and more flexible. So you can be assured when that will be released, you will see all the details in our GitHub repository, so you can have access to the full details of it. Then moving on, and this will actually be my last slide. We talk about apps and integrations, right? So you see them here divided in 3 columns: customer service, DevOps, and of course productivity. So by customer service, we call all of the popular integrations out there that you can have on the market, from Instagram, WhatsApp, Telegram. We also have our very own live chat integration that you will see in a few minutes from now within the demo, how that works, how you can integrate it, how the little toggle looks like, and it can be personalized fully based on the need of the customer. And of course, it can be in any language that it's needed, not only in English, of course. We have, this is of course the Atlassian Bundle that we saw earlier during the presentation, with all the DevOps options out there, and also all the productivity tools. And these are just some examples, right? Don't forget, if you are not able to find something that you need out there, you can always create your own app using our open APIs and SDKs, right? So we are flexible, and we are always there to support these sort of new integrations, which can be published within the marketplace itself, and then you can just use it for your own purpose. But also there are third parties out there that already done that, so you can just go to, like, as I mentioned, Zapier, and you can take the plugin. I think you pay a fee for it, and then you can have the integration that you need and is missing directly working within Rocket.Chat. So I'll make another pause here, let's see if anyone has any questions. And if not, I will jump into our next section of the presentation for today, which will be a demo. Let's see how Rocket.Chat UI looks and what we can do with it, and the examples of the integrations that I mentioned and some aspects of the platform itself. So let me know if we have any questions for now.
Коллеги, очередной раз, есть вопросы, нет вопросов, комментарии. It seems there are not so much questions. It means we explain everything clean.
That seems to be the case, no problem. Let's switch then to the Rocket.Chat interface. Just allow me 1 minute to open it, please. So here it is. Are you able to see the screen with the Rocket.Chat instance?
Yeah, sure.
Perfect. So this would be an example of a Rocket.Chat instance. This actually is one example that lives within our cloud, which is multiverse.rocket.chat. We use this environment for demo purposes. So this is actually managed by me, and everything that you'll see here, I always show that to like potential customers out there that they're interested in understanding how Rocket.Chat looks like, how it works, and what's important about it, right? And when we talk about Rocket.Chat, the look and feel, right? As I mentioned, everything that you see here, from the icons, the tabs, the colors, even the home screen, the logo of Rocket.Chat, everything can be ripped off and you can replace with your very own inserts of the look and feel that you want to achieve with your Rocket.Chat platform. So let's say you want to change this with another color, you want to have another message over here. This tab can be a different color, the icons can be changed, even these little icons as well. So let's say if I go to one of my colleagues and I want to open the emoji site, even this can be personalized. So we offer that much of flexibility when it comes to the Rocket.Chat look and feel. Then how do we use Rocket.Chat? How a normal user is able to, to use the platform, and what exactly we see as a normal behavior within the platform, right? So whenever I receive that question, I would say, of course, it depends on what each person wants to achieve with the platform when we talk about team collaboration. But mostly, we will be focusing on some, I would say, important major aspects of the platform. So that will be also over here on the top left of your screen. So we have these little buttons that I usually use on a daily basis. So one of it will be, of course, the search functionality. This will allow you to identify a person, a channel, a discussion that you want to search, in case you have something like me that you see here on the left side, because of course I'm using this for a while. You will have a lot of conversations opened and you will be part of a lot of channels. So sometimes it can be, difficult to identify that exact person or conversation that you're looking for. So by searching it here, so let's say I want to search for one of my colleagues, which will be Sachin, and as you saw, it finds Sachin and I'm able to get in touch with him directly here. Then you also have the directory. The directory can be used to identify, if you're a normal user, all the open channels available out there for you. If you're an admin, as I am right now, you will be able also to see all the private channels as well, because a full admin with the full access will be able to control all the traffic on the server, right? So that means also those private channels that they are created for some private conversations or for private topics. So in this case, you will see all of that here. You see there's a slight difference between the two. You have here the hash sign when it says projects, and then the 10th of March, it has a little lock on top of it. That means it's a private channel. So that's a UI component that determines this difference where you can see it just visually, right? Directly, you don't need to open it and then understand that it's actually a private or a public one, right? Then there are different ways of displaying your Rocket.Chat interface. I usually use exactly the settings that you see here, but there are other people using it in different ways. So you can extend your view. You can see it like this with bigger like tabs, and also the last message that was sent within that conversation. You can close the avatars if you want to show something like this. You can have it medium. So I would say the pictograms are slightly smaller. I use it condensed because I want to see my information in a quicker way. So this is the actual way I use it. But also you can group your Rocket.Chat by unread messages. So you'll see here on the top side, all your messages will always appear as a priority. I use it for the favorite side because honestly, if you select this way, you will see just the new message that will come in. After you read it, and for some reason you're distracted with something else, you will see that message will disappear. And if you have, like me, where that conversation came from, that will be a challenge to understand where that's coming from, right? So that's why I usually recommend to use it in this specific way. Then let's deep dive into like one-to-one conversation. So let's say I'm doing this with my colleague, Luis. Luis is actually an account exec in Rocket.Chat. And in this case, I want to get in touch with him, and I actually want to open a video conversation with him. Rocket.Chat as of today offers two video conferencing solutions which are deeply embedded within the platform. So if I'll go quickly as an admin to the video side, and if we go to the menus, you will see we have two options available. One is Jitsi, the other one is Big Blue Button. The difference between the two is actually Jitsi. It's usually used for one-to-one conversations, but also one-to-many, which means for an audience of a few people, you can be more than relying on the Jitsi capabilities. I will show you in a minute how that looks like and what it's capable of doing. When we talk about big audiences, webinars, maybe even streaming, or like in a healthcare or like in an education situation, Big Blue Button is able to, provide that experience because it was built for this main purpose, to provide a good video experience when you have a large audience and someone is also sharing the screen, sharing maybe even the camera, and it also has a poll embedded within it, and also like a whiteboard that you can use to actually write stuff on it, as you will do in a room where you have a clipboard with the marker, so you write yourself stuff on the table itself, right? So you can enable both at any time if it makes sense. I usually use Jitsi for the quick calls with my colleagues, and that's why you will see it's always enabled on my side. And how it works, going back to Luis, you have this menu over here. Click on the call icon. Yes, you have two ways of using it. One would be directly here in the screen. It's going to open a separate window here on the right side, but that will be really small. So if you actually want to see the person you're talking to on a bigger screen, then I definitely recommend using it this way. Join the meeting. You can always start your camera. Hello. You can, of course, enable your microphone. You can send messages over here. So as we do right now with the Zoom meeting that we are using. Then you have this menu over here that you can use for different other type of purposes. So like recording, starting a stream. So it's pretty much capable of supporting everything that we see with all the big names out there. So I would encourage, when you'll be using your Rocket.Chat, to try to test this. And also, whenever you're going to start a new conversation, this little button here will appear as a notification. We are also going to release really soon also like a ringtone. So whenever someone is going to try to get in touch with me, I will also hear like a ringtone like on my laptop or desktop, and I know someone is calling me through Rocket.Chat. So that's also something we will be launching really soon in a new release with Rocket.Chat. Then I will focus a bit over here. We can understand a lot of data just clicking here on the profile info. From here, you can understand the roles of the person. So in this case, Luis is pretty much an admin as I am and has all the roles that I do. You can also start the call that you saw earlier from the little call button there. Also from here, you can start an audio call if you just want to like have a voice conversation and not a video fan. You can block the person from here, and you can see some other details like also when the person last logged in on the platform. This was actually a new plugin that we added within Rocket.Chat because this was something not available and a lot of users were requesting it. We would like to see when someone last logged in to the platform. So now it's available for everyone to see it. Then we offer other menus out here. I'm not going to deep dive into all of them. I would say which are the most common used are threads and discussions. So for example, if you had threads open with Luis, in this case, you will be able to search for them and you'll always be able to jump to that thread whenever you have one. The same way with the discussion. So in this case, I actually have a discussion with him. I can click on it and then I'm directly jump into the discussion I had with Luis. Why is that important? I would say whenever you have a big channel, for example, EMEA team, right? Within here, you could have maybe 50 people, 100 people available within one place. You don't want to spam everyone, right? So you would like maybe to start a conversation on a specific topic, which let's say it's going to be EMEA QBR. And I just wrote this here and I want this conversation to be open to my entire EMEA team. So I will just start a new thread. So I just click reply in thread. So here I will say, we will be meeting next week. And then anyone that is interested in this topic will be able to join by clicking reply. This little icon here will appear and we can participate on this very specific targeted topic. This will be about threads. Why do we have discussions? I have this question a lot of times with other people out there. You can create your discussion either from here or on the menu here. I will use this one because it's more convenient and easier. You will see it's going to be attached to a team or a channel always. You can always have it encrypted or not. It's a choice, right? So as I said, if you remember in the beginning, your end-to-end encryption can be enabled on the full server or separately on specific conversations. So in this case, you can see this example. You can put a name of the discussion. So let's say in this case, I will say again, just QBR. I'm not inviting any members yet. I'm not putting any message and I'm going to create this. You will see it's going to appear over here, a new chat that was formed called EMEA QBR. You see, you have all the details over here. So if I go back to my team, this is what actual other users will be seeing. The difference between the two, this is open to anyone that will be able to join and attend this conversation, this topic. This one will be based on invitation. So only the people I want to be part of this conversation will be able to join this, especially if I make it even private or also encrypted, right? So this will be the difference. A thread anyone can join, a discussion can be an actual private conversation that can live within a channel or a team. So that's the actual difference between a thread and a discussion. There's also another slight difference between channel and teams. And that will be just the purpose of it, because if I open to create a new channel, looks exactly like this. If I click on cancel and open a team, looks identical, right? So the main difference is you can create teams and channels that can coexist individually, but if you want an automation, channels can be attached to teams. So which means if I go back to this EMEA team and I click on team channels, you will see within my EMEA team, I have 3 predefined channels. So whenever someone, let's say, is joining my company and I want that person to be part of EMEA team, it's automatically joining these other 3 departments that I pre-created under my team. So you can look as a team, as a directory, and the channels as a subdirectory of that team. So that's the main difference between the two, because both of them are capable of being private or public, and you have the same menu whenever you create a new one, right? I see some questions piling in the chat. I will focus on them when we finish the demo, so we'll have enough time to respond to all of them. Okay, I will move on. So let's go back to Luis in this case. And I would like to share with Luis, for example, a sensitive information, which in this case can be, for example, a social security number, a credit number, a phone number, or any other rules that within your company, you don't want your employees to be able to do it. So let's say in this case, I will share a phone number. You will see my message will be directly obfuscated. So which means in this case, me, Ionut Mihart, the user, I'm trying to send that to Luis. I'm like, okay, why I'm not able to do it? I'll click on more info, most probably, right? And I will understand, okay, DLP, which is our enterprise data loss prevention tool, is kicking in and is blocking me to share this because the company doesn't allow me to share this sensitive information, right? And it's saying it has a pending approval status. Now, some predefined admins will be able to see these messages in a private channel, and they will be able to approve or reject that. And that will look something like this: the data loss prevention channel, which it's also private, as you can see on the lock. So over here, I can understand what happened. So the admin now, Ionut, is seeing that between Ionut and Luis, it happened a communication which was blocked, and I can have the approval or rejection rule for this purpose. So in this case, I will say, let's say approve, go back to my initial conversation with Luis, and you'll see the message reappear. So this will be one of the layers of security that we added with Rocket.Chat, right? So you can pre-enable this app. So let me quickly show it to you so you can have an understanding on how it looks. So we go to apps, we go to the marketplace, we search for data loss prevention, which you will see it's enabled. And within here, you just have one setting window where you can add all your regex rules. You'll see here, everything that was added before the app was enabled, it's directly blocked by these rules, right? And you can add much more than that. It's just a matter of putting here, which makes sense for your use case. You save the changes, and then, as you saw, my message going out to Luis is going to be directly blocked by this app. So going back here, it's exactly going to work like you see here, right? The only thing I guess I forgot to mention when I wanted to initially will be, of course, within Rocket.Chat, you can always share your files from here. So it's easy to use. You can click on it, you can drag and drop. So let's say if I go on my desktop, I will share this invoice. I can put a different name if I want. I can put a description, click on send, and by that easy, you see the attachment over here. If you put a picture, of course, the picture with the preview will appear. I don't know if I have one now to show to you. No. Yeah, I don't have one right now. So it's pretty much the same. It's adding or drag and dropping it here, and then you can use the data within the one-to-one conversation or within the channel. And if you want to download it, of course, you click here on download, and it's going to be downloaded in your personal computer. So it's that easy to use, right? I will stop here with the team collaboration part. There are a lot of other possibilities to achieve what team collaboration can do, right? But I also want to use the time that is left to show you a bit about omnichannel. And before that, I will show you some of those administration tools that we offer with Enterprise Edition that I mentioned during the presentation, which one of it is that auditing panel. So if we click here, I'm also having an auditor role, so I'm able to see this. Let's say I want to audit a user. I will put for that purpose, let's say from 1st of March till today, and I will try to audit one of my colleagues, which will be Bert Mons. I will apply, and you will see by doing this, all the full conversation where Bert was part on all the activities that he did, all the creations that he did. So everything is available here, as you can see, right? If you're going to enable end-to-end encryption within your server, which is going to be on a specific conversation or for the entire ecosystem of Rocket.Chat, then message auditing will not be able to work within here. It's worth mentioning that because, of course, if you have your encryption available, then you have to make an audit of your MongoDB. So that's a different way of achieving that, more complex, but not available here within the message auditing panel that we have for with Enterprise, right? So it's important to understand that aspect. Then, as an admin, we have access to the administration panel. From here, we understand a lot of information that we need to know about our database, from the version that we're currently running on of Rocket.Chat, the MongoDB database version, the licensing that we have, in this case, Enterprise Gold, which is an enterprise within the cloud. Gold is for Enterprise Cloud. And also we have the usage that we can see on the server. You can use this view, which is a more, let's say, pro view of the numbers, the total users, and everything that is happening with the server, but you can also use the engagement dashboard. This will give you a graphical use of understanding the traffic on the server, the peak concurrent users. So as I mentioned during the PowerPoint, you can see by going through here and hovering over the intervals, in which days and which time intervals people actually went on the server and they spoke to each other, right? And you can have different predetermined intervals. So 1 week, 1 month, or 3 months. And of course, you can do that for messages as well. And you can see here which were the most used channels in this case, and also this other view, which will give you a much more detailed understanding on the traffic of each channel and message, right? Then I will quickly show you about our marketplace. So this is how we actually access it. You go here, you try to search for the integration that you're looking for. So let's say if you want to search for Telegram, you have it here, you click on it. You will see over here, because of course on my side it's already installed and enabled, you'll have an install button. Then you follow the steps and you put all the necessary details over here, and it's that simple to have your Telegram then up and running with Rocket.Chat. There's some other integrations out there that they're not built directly by Rocket.Chat. So you'll see some of those are by Rocket.Chat, some of those are by another company, or by a community user of ours that they developed a specific bot or a tool or an integration, and it's now integrated with the Rocket.Chat marketplace. So if you remember during the presentation, I mentioned Rocket.Chat is flexible when it comes to those integrations out there that you cannot find. So you can build your own app, then you can request that app to be added to our marketplace. So this is where you will be able to exactly find that, right? Then the only thing I would like to mention, I will stop here with team collaboration, is permissions. From here, you can achieve the level of permission on your server that you want to control within your users of Rocket.Chat. So let's say from here, I want to add a new role that would be called, I don't know, IT. You can create a role from here. If you don't find it already predetermined by us, you can put a name, the description, the scope of the role, and then you just start adding the rules that you want, for example, IT in this case, to have on your server. So we can do that through all, in this case, we actually have more, 177 different level of permissions. So I will make a comparison in Slack. You have 3. You have user, super user, and admin. That's it, right? In Rocket.Chat, you have this level of granularity that you can use to actually control that access on the server. So if you want someone just to be able to start a one-to-one conversation, join a channel, and that's it, you can actually do that. You create a role, you put those 2 rules, and that's it. You just attach over here in users, let's say, I don't know, Aaron Ogle, I just want to have a specific role. You edit him, and you put a role that you want for Aaron in this case, right? So the control, it's up to you. You can change everything. You can use everything that you want for that sole purpose. It's just going through the permissions and understanding what exactly you will need to have on the server. Then let's switch to integrations and omnichannel. So in this case, I will bring and I will make half and half the Telegram web interface that I'm using. This is actually linked to my personal Telegram app that I installed. You see here it's webtelegram.org. And in this case, hello from Telegram. You will see we predefined an welcoming message that you can have available within your integration. And the difference that is happening, and let me click here so you can see it, we have within the queue chat an incoming message from someone called Ionut, and you also see here the Telegram icon, right? Which means we have an incoming chat from someone from Telegram. In order to serve it, you can have this automated. So which means you don't need to have a queue chat. You can have certain agents that will be able to automatically receive all the incoming, in this case, Telegram messages. They can be serving them automatically, so they don't need to wait here in a queue chat for someone to click here and to actually, click on take it and start serving the customer that it's reaching out to me from Telegram. So in this case, you can have that automated. I usually show it in a manual way because it's easier. And well, we don't have like tens of agents available on this demonstration server. So that's why we use this routing logic behind. So I can click on the profile, understand some details about the person that is reaching out. I can see the phone. I can see when it was first created. And as I mentioned, you can see the full messages that happened between your notes in this case and Rocket.Chat. So this is the entire history and even much more than that if you let it load, right? It's all the demos that I did with Telegram in Rocket.Chat. So in this case, me, the agent, will take it. You will see you can have available a CRM integration on your side, which means this will automatically kick in. So you can use Salesforce, Jira, HubSpot. All of them will appear exactly as you can see here. The Salesforce one, you can create your contact case. This will be created on the Salesforce side. So this is another tracking level that you can use as a new incident within your CRM. If you're using a CRM for that purpose, of course, then let's say I'm going to reply back to Ionut from Omnichannel. So let's say, hello, Ionut. How can I help? So you will see the message from Rocket.Chat. It's going directly to Telegram. You can pick to choose to show your agent's name. You can hide that if you want that to be, kept just for different purposes. We have customers out there that are asking specifically for this to be shown and to be visible. So it's that easy, right? You can create this, you can share files between the two. You can, as an agent, I can, not as an agent, sorry, as a customer, I can share a voice message with Ionut, the agent in this case. So you have all the flexibility that you need out there. I will make a bit Rocket.Chat bigger so you can understand this menu over here. So let's say if for some reason this came in the wrong queue, right? So after I discuss with Ionut, I understand which is his issue, and I will see, yeah, this is not related to me. I need to forward this to someone else. So just click on forward chat. You can search for the department if you know which is the department that the person is part of, or you can search for the user directly. So in this case, let's say I want to redirect this chat to Bert. I put Bert here, I leave a comment, I forward it, and then this message will disappear from my side and will appear on Bert's side. And the customer will not know the switch happened. And especially if you don't want to share the name of the agent, then it's even more simpler, right? Someone else will be speaking with Ionut, the customer, and in this case, Bert will be able to to solve the issue that Ionut has. You can request the transcript. You can put on hold the conversation. You can push it back to the queue that you saw earlier, to the waiting queue. or if you finish the conversation, you can go here. You can put a comment. You can predefine some tags also for your tracking purposes earlier on. I will just say closed, confirm, and it disappeared, right? And if I reopen my Telegram, you will see nothing is happening on this side because, of course, the conversation ended, right? You can also predetermine an ending message automated by the Telegram app integration if you want that to, be a thing whenever the conversation ends. So this will be how the Telegram app works, right? Let me then show you how we address the use cases about the live chat integration. So let me do the same thing. This will be the little toggle that you can add within your website. It's actually really, really easy to install. You go here, you go to Omnichannel, you have the live chat installation. This is the actual script that you just copy, paste it within your platform, and you will see the little Rocket.Chat toggle will appear immediately afterwards. And you can then support all your incoming traffic on your website that they want to get in touch with someone from support by doing this, right? So in this case, I'm a customer again. I want to start a chat now. I'm appointed to put some details over here. You can have this form, the color, the name, the questions, the language addressed in the way you will need it. So if you want to have it in Russian, you can definitely achieve that. Let me put here my Rocket.Chat email. I want to talk, let's say, to someone from sales. You can have these departments here available. If you know to whom you want to talk to, you can have just one department, for example, and it will be automated to the person. In that case, I will click on sales, for example, put my last name, start a chat. Hello, need help. So in this case, you will see another incoming chat in my queue. And now I'm waiting for someone to get in touch with me. So in this case, Ionut, the agent that is serving for Rocket.Chat, is seeing, okay, someone from live chat is getting in touch with me. I'm going to take it. You will see the same CRM integration kicking in. You can do the exact same steps you saw with Telegram. And then, hello, Ionut, how may I help? And you will see the information immediately appearing on the customer side. So this can happen with any other integrations out there that you need. You can integrate behind even bots. So if you want your notes, the customer in this case, to first talk with a bot, the bot can have a logic that it can pre-built within the live chat widget. Then after the logic ends, you can have the bot redirecting based on the answers that a person is giving back here, and you will see then the incoming chat as we see it now, right? So it's that simple to use. It can be integrated to any platform out there. It can be an in-app chat. It can be in a platform, in a pretty much any use case that you would need a live chat integration, right? So this is available, as you saw. The code is within the Omnichannel admin panel, so it's just a matter of adding it to the use case that you will need. Let's say I'm going to close this conversation as well. Confirm. With the live chat, of course, we added a transcript capability. So then the customer, if they want to have a transcript of their full conversation, and I don't know, if they will like to file a complaint, they will have then the full transcript on email, and then they can send that full transcript to someone from the management side, if it's the case, of course, right? So I'll click on yes. And then it's going to this email address that I added, right? So that's simple to use. And the third integration, and I promise is the last one I will show you today, it's actually Slack. So the Slack bridge is actually working with some really basic bots that are doing the entire magic back and forth. So let's say I'm using Slack bridge as a channel, and I'm having on Rocket.Chat the mirror Slack bridge that I want to use for the communication back and forth. That's how it actually works, right? You need to have your channels mirrored with the same name. You'll add 2 bots behind, one on Rocket.Chat, one on Slack. And then the one bot is pulling the message from one environment and it's pushing it forward to the other one that exists, in this case, in Slack. So let's say hello from Slack. You will see it's immediately appearing on the Rocket.Chat interface over here. I will respond back, hello from Rocket.Chat. And then the message is being received on the Slack side. So you can have as many channels as you will need, mirrored back and forth between your Rocket.Chat interface and your Slack interface. So let's say for some reason, some of your employees are still using Slack. In this case, you don't break the conversation. You can still achieve that communication back and forth in this way. So this is how actually the Slack bridge works, and this is how we also have it documented within our documentation, which docs.rocket.chat. So if anyone wants to test it, you can test it exactly the same way as you saw it now. It's just following the steps over there to enable the bridge between the 2 environments. So this would be the part of the presentation about some of the integrations out there. I don't want to show all of those because Instagram, Messenger, WhatsApp, they will work exactly as you saw the Telegram one. So it's just another interface that I'll be using here on the right side to be received on the left side in omnichannel. So I don't think we need to do that now. The only thing I will show you is the analytics of omnichannel. So that can be achieved over here in omnichannel analytics. So you can understand, again, let's say if I do for a bigger period, the total conversations, who attended pretty much all of them, and you'll see that division between percentages. You can also see the productivity as well. So the first TAT that happened, so when the person actually responded back to the incoming chat. So well, this is a demo environment, right? So you will see huge TATs like here. Of course, we don't want to serve our customers in 2 hours TAT, right? So definitely you can use this for training purposes, but also managers will have access also to current chats, right? So here you see you also had an interval that you can use, and you can see the entire conversations that happened on the server on the omnichannel side. So let's say we will use this one. This is actually the Telegram one that we just used some minutes ago. Here I can see as a manager what Ionut replied back to the customer, how long that took, the customer was satisfied or not. So all of that can be achieved from the manager standpoint in this view. So you can use that for training purposes, so you can help your agents improve their productivity when they talk to customers, right? And well, we have other options out there. So you can enable business hours. You can have, let's say if your company is not 24/7 supportive, you can then enable business hours when your Rocket.Chat omnichannel is supposed to run. So let's say if between the weekend you don't want any incoming chats to happen, you just close the window, so you don't add them here, and then they will be automatically routed to the queue that it's going to just keep them there, and then you can go back to them on Monday and see what happened there. So there are different ways of achieving what you saw. It's just a matter of understanding what those use cases will address. So I'm going to stop here. And I think we have around 27 minutes for questions, and hopefully we can address all of them today.
Any questions? Пока можете задавать вопросы, у кого они есть. Я приведу немного технический вопрос по поводу, можно ли избавиться от MongoDB, и мы поговорим на эту тему. There was a kind of conversation regarding the limitations to use different technologies. Is it possible to remove MongoDB as a base database and use for backend S3 or some other storage, object storages?
So the main database that we use will still be Mongo. If you want to have a separate database behind, then it's those storages that if you remember in the architecture that I shared, you can use those means of storages, right? But the Mongo itself cannot be removed. That's the database that we can that we deploy and use for Rocket.Chat to store the data, right?
Okay. Okay. Well, if the support will be needed for the MongoDB issues, does the Rocket.Chat can provide the help?
Of course, yes. Yeah.
Okay. Какие другие вопросы? Ну, судя по всему, вопросов нет, либо опять же, то есть презентация будет доступна в записи, и, соответственно, возникнут вопросы, всегда можете отправлять нам, мы их с удовольствием ответим. Okay. So it seems...
Коллеги, раз, два, три. Слышно меня? Прошу
да,
прощения.
Да.
Супер, да, меня зовут Александр. Я задавал вопрос вот по поводу инстансов. Не услышал я отходил, немного был ли на него ответ?
Да, был ответ. Мы можем повторить. There was the question about Alex was asking, and we was answered shortly for that. But can you repeat, please, because of he have not catch the answer about the if they will start additional instance, what will happen and how to scale the Rocket.Chat.
So let me see if I understand the question. Alex is interested on another instance that, let's say, he wants to deploy and how that is going to react, or
how is going to? Is it will be running on the second CPU, or what will happen?
Okay, the question that happened some minutes ago. Yeah, I remember.
Yes.
So in theory, whenever you want to deploy an instance of Rocket.Chat, the instance is dependent on the number of users that will exist within that instance, right? So if you have one instance with 1,000 users, those users will not coexist on only one CPU, right? You need a more powerful environment to sustain that, right? If we'll have a few users, then yes, that can be achieved in a very basic installation, because Rocket.Chat for a very low number of users is not eating a lot of resources. So as I said some minutes ago, understand the use of Rocket.Chat and what exactly you're going to need there. And based on that need, then you will need you will know exactly how to deploy that and what's the CPU, the memory, and the storage need that you will have then based on that installment. So that's exactly what you will need to understand initially, and then based on that, you make the deployment and all the requirements, Alex.
Yeah, understood. May I speak in Russia? And could you please translate?
Sure, please.
Смотрите, да, мы используем мульти-инстансы в классической версии развертывания Rocket.Chat, вот, и они нам позволяют использовать, вот, обходить ограничения вот одного ядра, да, использовать несколько ядер. Это, насколько я понимаю, ограничение Node.js, да, технологии. Вот, и при классическом развертывании мы вот мульти-инстансами используем там второе, третье, четвертое физическое ядро нашего сервера, да, вот, ну, потому что один инстанс уже не справляется, да, с этой задачей. Вот, но у нас есть вариант развертывания в Snap и вариант развертывания в Docker. Вот, и насколько мы понимаем, если вот уже в таком варианте развертывания в этом же Snap доподнять вот этот инстанс, то все равно мы этот, получается, CPU дополнительный не задействуем почему-то. То есть вот это как-то ограничение обходится или это вот какая-то архитектурная такая штука, и нужно использовать классический вариант развертывания, чтобы вот как-то масштабировать, значит, производительность на другие ядра?
Давайте я переведу, как бы, да, то есть, Ionut,
Yes.
the question was all detailed questions. Was they have several instances of Rocket.Chat, and this the possible when they start in native application, they can add and use additional CPUs, and because of we have a monolithic application, the new instance takes another CPU and it works perfectly. But when they use Docker installation or Snap installation, when they add additional instances there, it not scale much because of they still use the same CPU in those kind of installations.
Right.
Can you comment on that?
I would say in those instances, maybe consider allocating more resources, Alex, because Rocket.Chat is able to scale as a monolith until a point, right? So if we talk about multiple instances, then we need to talk about more power. So that could be hardware or virtual that you need to scale in order to sustain multiple deployments of Rocket.Chat, right? So one CPU will not be able to sustain more installations at the same time, right? I would guess that's why you encountered the issue that, well, Evgeny translated for me. So maybe if that's exactly what you're looking for as an answer, I would say, yes, you need to allocate more resources.
No, maybe I was sounded wrong. It was a question. We have got installation, as I understand Alex was saying, and when they have classical installation, they can allocate more resources and more instances take additional CPUs.
Right.
But when they using the Docker-like or Snap-like installation, and inside of the Docker, inside of the Snap, they add additional instances of Node.js. It is not taking additional CPU because of it sticks with one CPU.
Yeah, we're still using one CPU in this fact. Just one CPU.
Okay.
So this kind of limitations of this style of installation, is it intended to be, or they miss something? How to add, how to scale Docker installation, or how to scale Snap install?
Right. Let's maybe let's deep dive into that separately, right? We can take the topic separately. I can
Sure.
ask my engineering team to come with a more detailed answer for you, Alex, so you can then maybe use that for your purpose that you're asking right now, right?
Yeah, thanks. It will be great.
Perfect, no problem.
Any additional questions, guys? Вопросы? Ну, если вопросов
нет вопросов, да.
Да, Дмитрий, тогда возвращаю вам мероприятие, чтобы сказать, заключительное слово, наверное, то, что вы писали в чате.
Да, коллеги, большое спасибо, что нашли время. Собственно, у нас есть 2 телеграм-канала. Один для партнеров, где мы анонсируем различные мероприятия специально для партнеров, только для партнеров. И, собственно, там последние новости, акции, то, что закрыто для общей публичной части. И есть 2-й телеграм-канал, новостной, для всех абсолютно, и для партнеров, для заказчиков. Он у нас открытый. По нему я сейчас тоже брошу ссылочку в Zoom. Тоже можно будет перейти и зарегистрироваться. Секунду. Да, пожалуйста, подписывайтесь. Если у вас какие-то вопросы возникают, проекты, пожалуйста, регистрируйте их или присылайте информацию на почтовый ящик rocket.chat@fgts.ru. Это групповой почтовый ящик, соответственно, то, что вы присылаете, видит целая команда. Это и наш технический блок в главе Евгения Александровича, который сегодня любезно помогал нам проводить это мероприятие, и наш коммерческий блок. Соответственно, любой из нашей команды, кто увидит письмо, подхватит и максимально быстро ответит на него. Если у вас остались какие-то вопросы, дальше можно писать в почту. Большое спасибо еще раз за то, что нашли время, подключились, за интерес к этому замечательному решению. Будем рады видеть вас на следующих мероприятиях.
And thank you, Ionut, for the great presentation and demonstration. It was really insightful, and thank you a lot.
Sure, it was a pleasure, and I hope the session today helped in a way, right, to at least paint a more detailed picture about Rocket.Chat and the possibilities, and hopefully we'll have sessions like this in the future as well.
Спасибо.
Ionut, thank you for brilliant presentation and demo.
Sure, no problem, Dimitri. No problem.
Коллеги, всем хорошего дня.